Okay, good morning, guys. So yesterday, first I was gonna go over the SPX quickly, right? If you guys go over the pre-market and if you guys go over the numbers that are given there, like for example, if I just go over the SPX of the one that we were posted today, the gamma levels that are there on SPX, if you look at those numbers, they're pretty much in line here, right? That's one thing, when you're day trading or you're trying to scalp, you can actually navigate your trades through those numbers, right? Because they're all part of algos. So for example, first the other day on Tuesday, we had to get to this level. We sent this chart in the Discord that 4,700 is a must go through in order for the market to go higher, and it was having a little trouble here, right? And this is not the place where you want to enter long or short positions unless you catch a SPY scalp here. That's a different story, right? But if you don't, you want to see if the market is able to hold, right? And finally, here above this, we have this little hold, and then it broke out. And yesterday, 4750. There was another note here before previous day that if the market gets to 4750, it is a good short, right? That note was posted I think the day before that, because 4750, it was a very tough level, right? We came from almost all the way from here, for 45.85. So that was another 250 up move, right? So 47.50 was a great short when you wait for the setup to come to you. And even if you caught this, 20, 30 points down on SPY or SPX, that would have been a lot of money. So sometimes you just patiently have to get money. Now SPY, when it's trading between this range, when it's trading between 4,700 and 4,750, personally, I just let the moves happen. I don't try to scalp in these levels. It becomes very hard, right? Because it's in the chop range, it's usually a premium burn, right? When it reaches a certain top range and it starts stalling there, that's when the premium starts burning, and you want to understand when to stay patient on your scalps, right? However, if it went through 4750 and it got to 4800, that would have been the next short, right? So I'll draw this here right now. Even as per the gamma levels, 4800, if we do get there, if I don't know if we get there or not, but if or whenever we get there, 4800 will be a good short for 10-15 points down, right? So that's another alert that you want to have on your screen. And if we get to 4700, I might wait, because if you get that bounce for 10 points, fine. Or I will probably wait for 4650, which will be more of a confirmed trade for a 10-15 point bounce to the upside, right, to catch that scalp. All right, so just keep this in mind when you're scalping, because many of you guys enter scalps in this chop. It's not that you're wrong or you're right. You could be right, but if your move happens after half an hour, because their daily expiry is almost right, you lose a lot of premium, so you don't really get the profits that you should have got. All right, so avoid getting stuck in this chop, because you will be sitting there all day just watching that one trade, and it sucks you out mentally, right? So that's something that you don't want to do. And if we go on the daily chart, right, I'm just going to remove all my drawings here. We had a nice little, actually I'll go on SPY, it's the same thing. So SPY, while we have these trend lines drawn from long before, I haven't taken them off, but we're just stuck in that range. It's a nice little uptrend. So much noise, so many things are happening in the market, CPI, PPI, all, yes, I also follow them, they're great, but on the longer time frame, why is there so much panic, right? The market is still going up, right? The rate hikes, they already told us what's going to happen. The question here is, you want to be careful, right? You want to be alert. If the market drops, you should be prepared for it, right? That's where it is. Personally, I don't know what's going to happen, right? I think 4800 might be a toppy level for a little while. However, given the trend, if we continue holding the market here, we might even break all-time highs and continue going towards 490. Who knows, right? I'm not a bull, I'm not a bear, I'm just neutral always, because you can simply play the levels and adjust your positions accordingly. All right, and so SPY right here, 470 is just a little tough part. If you can see right here, it's at the major resistance point. So right now it's just battling between what to do here. Does it go up or down? It's indecisive, right? So even the candle says itself, like, I'm not bullish or bearish here. What happens here is very hard to tell. If we break the lows of yesterday, then there will be selling pressure, then we might see downside, right? And so on. So far the market is just holding up. That's all I can say. What happens into the Fed, I have no idea. We have OPEX soon. OPEX is next week, right? So we have OPEX next week. What happens then? Does the market drip or rip, or what happens? I have no idea. Let the time come, we'll see, right? If the levels break, then obviously we'll play to the downside. Tech also, Q's holding up, a little toppy action here, right? Overall, same thing as SPY. Obviously, indices are pretty much the same right now. And here is also indecisive, right? It's stuck in this chop right here. It's stuck in this chop right here. and it just needs to decide which way it wants to go, up or down. So today, if we take the high of yesterday's candle and we hold above it, then that's showing us strength in the market. And then what happens tomorrow, we see how the week closes, right? But one thing you do want to keep in mind is the rate hike, inflation, everything. Because if a big move does happen to the downside, we won't know it. We'll just have to catch it the day it happens. They might drop the market, there is no doubt, right? So I do also have a feeling that there is a possibility they might drop the market sometime this month. It's a possibility that you have to know that can happen. All right, and TSM chips are in play today, right? Chips are in play. We finally broke out of this range the other last week, right? And a play was called by T, a potential 1000%, and it worked out. He gave that back in December. I was just looking at it, right? We broke out of this range. We broke out, right? So if I remove all my drawings here, I will do the analysis again. We broke out of this range right here, right? And anybody that chased here, you should never do it. That's the number one rule, right? It broke out, and then we had the retest, and it broke out again. That's strength. And now in pre-market, TSM is gapping up. Their earnings are great. I won't go into too many details. I posted a note in premium chat or pre-market. You can read. They beat their earnings, right? And they raised their guidance. Any company that raises their guidance, as we know, usually goes much higher in pre-market. TSM all-time high is right here, roughly 140. Do you want to chase this to the upside today? Does it make a $10, $20 move to the upside? I have no idea. Personally, I would not chase. I will simply wait, let it set up for some days, right? Because it's already gapping up. And if TSM goes to 136 today, 136, 135.50, and then it comes back up and takes out the high of the day, this is a very typical pattern I'm giving you. It does not work all the time, but whenever it does, it usually always works. On a 5-minute chart, if TSM dips towards 135.50 around these levels, right, and then it takes out the high of the day on the 5-minute chart, it's likely going to be an uptrend towards the upside. All right, but this has to happen before 9:45, before 9:50. If that happens, then they're probably going to take this towards 142, 145, maybe even all-time highs today itself. All right, one stock which is really strong. Another example I want to give you based on this gap of earnings, typical pattern. If we go on CRM, last time, they gapped up on the earnings. Where did it go? Where is it? Right here. They gapped up on the earnings, nice gap, but then they gave up the gains. Then later on, it broke out. So the same thing is also possible with TSM, right? It's gapping up. They might give the gains, and then later on, they might take it up after a week or two, or they might just take it up again. It's very hard to predict what's going to happen. So personally, I'm just going to wait and watch and see what happens here. One stock that's really up on the gap up is LRCX. It's trading above 700. If LRCX takes out 729, right, the number is 729, it is no longer 715, right? 729. If we do get 729 on LRCX and hold, we might have a move to 750. But today, for example, for today, 700 is a must hold. Or it could simply be a short here on the gap up, right? If it holds, then the coming week, it could be a short as well. Today, chips names are green. They're running. It's big, so TSM. They're great earnings and great guidance. So you don't want to get too bullish all of a sudden. All right, just keep that in mind. Because chips did run up a lot already, and how long do they keep going? It depends, right? Nvidia, for example, if I go on a daily chart, I'm sorry guys, I'm still not feeling my best. I'm still sick, a lot better than yesterday though. Nvidia already ran up a lot from last year. It already, in 2021, this stock alone almost went up more than 200% on equity, right? More than 200%. That's a huge move for such a big company in such a short period of time. All right. So today is gapping up, and be careful just going long and whatnot. You might catch that $10, $15 move, fine, but make sure you take your profits at the right time, right? Don't expect a nice little swing in, with certain events that we do have coming up. All right. Amazon, not much. It's just holding a big dip this week earlier on Monday, right? A huge dip, and then obviously went up. What happens here? I have no idea. It's just stuck in this huge chop. Right? On the weekly, it broke down, right? But now they're reversing it. On the weekly, they broke down. Now they're reversing it. One could argue they shook all these people out. Now they're going to go up. One can argue it's a bounce, and then we maybe see lower, right? And it's still a very hard place to play Amazon right now. So if you're scalping it, that's fine. Or if you make profits on it, you want to bet some profits, fine, right? But otherwise, just avoid this name. There's zero reason to be playing it, right? Right now, there's zero reason, unless I come up with a strangle or something else, that I might see a big move to either side, fine. But for now, there's zero reason to be playing it. It's under the 200 MA, and this can easily see all the way towards 2700 to the downside. To the downside, we have this zone right here. Right? This is the zone we have to the downside. You guys can take a picture of this. If it really breaks down, it will visit this. You see this candle right here on June 22nd, 2020. This will be the zone it's gonna visit them right here on the weekly. All right, and then if we hold, then obviously to the upside we have all the potential, but it needs to get above 3400. Until then, just avoid. A tech name which is acting very good is Google. Right, dip, and now it's a nice little uptrend. Nancy Pelosi is also long, remember that. Not that she has to be right, but just saying. But Google, if it can get above 3,000, 2,900, that's a lot of strength. Then this name probably goes up. Then the market keeps going higher, even with all these interest rates, all these things going on in the market can still continue going higher, right? Facebook is stuck in a chop. I do like this name to the upside, but it's just stuck in this chop. It just needs to make a move to one side or the other. It is a great strangle play in my opinion, because it's been stuck in this chop for so long, and it needs to make that $20, $30 point to the upside or downside. Right, so probably next week, if it stays here longer, I might play a strangle on this name. Another strangle play I have is Walmart, which I'm simply waiting. If I go on the daily channel, right, on the daily, it's just been consolidating. For the last 2 weeks, the stock has not made any move, right? But this can also continue staying in this channel for another 5-6 days. It's possible it stays in this channel for a long time. So I'm just gonna wait, and then 3-4 weeks out, we can play strangles on it if it sets up, and then we can nail it. Or we can go to the long side. If it takes a 145 and pulls, then we can play calls and one as well. All right. And Bitcoin stocks, Mara, Riot, anything that you're playing, Bitcoin has made a strong base, and now is going up nice. All right, it's going up nice. Now the only thing here is we need to break above 44k and get to 45, 46,000 in order for our Bitcoin stocks to move up, right? Because they also have moved with this move up, but now they're waiting for Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin gonna do? If we get Bitcoin towards 45, 46k, Riot, Mara, MSTR coin, these names will move up. But if Bitcoin does not get above 44,000 towards 45, 46k, those names are not gonna go nowhere, right? So just know this. And apart from that, guys, I think I'll keep it short for today. Thank you. But just one thing I want to say, today is a less volatile day, right? We had volatility last few days, right? We had a lot of volatility last few days. A big move, from 456 all the way towards 474, right? That's an 18-point move, right? So don't force. Today might be less volatile. We might just stay in this range right here with this candle alone, and you don't want to be stuck here long or short on the indices especially. Right, so be careful on the voice chat. If we have some scalps we call, we'll take them, or else not much to do. Other than that, thank you so much. I'll see you guys back in the chat, and any questions, just ask in our premium chat, and we're always here.